finish.
No, but when you begin to talk, it comes. When you begin to talk, it will come.
Yeah.
Normally,
There are times you say that you don't know what you're going to say.
I can write plenty like that, but when I start talking, what I've written is not
We've gone on live now. I've had a signal.
okay.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord. This is Female Love Foundation Ghana bringing to your doorstep the Female Love Show, coming live from the VMS Gilbert Studios. I am Mrs. Eunice Nkebe. You can call me Mayu. We want to look at COVID-19 and the effects on the family. When COVID-19 showed its ugly head, most spouses and families thought it was time to have a long-drawn honeymoon. But unfortunately, challenges set in and some had to go through a whole lot of problems because of the effects of COVID-19. On our program tonight, we want to look at the effects COVID-19 has on the family and marriages and the children in general. And so my panelists is ready. They are sitting right with me here. And we'll be introducing them very soon. But I want you to know that this program is brought to you by Kind Ketsi, Female Love Ghana, and in partnership with VMS Gilbert. You can send us your WhatsApp on 0244531746. An SMS will do. You can also visit our page on Female Love Foundation Ghana. We are streaming live on Facebook. You can also get us on Female Love TV, Instagram, and the rest of the social media platforms. And so I'll take my introductions from my panelists, and then we'll set up from there. We want you to join us on this program. Stay tuned. Do not change your dial. Do not touch your machine. Still follow us on Female Love Foundation on Facebook and on other platforms as we allow our panelists to introduce themselves, and we'll take it up from there. On my right hand, I'll let our pastor introduce himself. Please, let's hear you, your name, and then we'll take it up from there.
I'm William Nkegbe, Pastor William Nkegbe, from Paradise Chapel, Tamale Central. I'm a counselor and a teacher, and then I am the husband of one wife. I think basically that is what I will say.
Okay. Thank you so much, and welcome to the program, Female Love. So, Mommy, over to you.
Yes, Mommy. Thank you very much. Good evening to our viewers. My name is Mrs. Rose Oforiamponsa. I'm at United Pentecostal Church International, Tamale branch, and I'm married with 5 kids. And then I am an administrator at El Ceylon Schools. It's a private school, family-owned business. That's all I have to say.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I am Pastor Koshifi Abdulaziz. I am a teacher. I'm also an associate pastor of Paradise Chapel, Tamale Central branch. And I'm also married to one wife, taken from where I also left. Yes, and I am excited to be here, and I trust that it will be a blessing to people out there.
Thank you so much. Welcome, lady and 2 gentlemen, to Female Love. We want to look at COVID-19 and its effects. You and I know that COVID-19, depending on how you look at it, some were looking at it at the negative aspect, others at the positive aspect. But when it comes to the family, mostly we're looking at it at the positive aspects. But some families' end result was negative. And so we want to look at COVID-19 and the effects, socioeconomic effects, I think in general. Then we'll take it up from there. We will not leave the kids when it comes to the effects of COVID-19. So I want to start with Pastor William. I want to look at the effects of COVID-19 on the family. You know, some families have lost their jobs, especially the husbands, the wives, and it's not easy for some of them. Some are still struggling. So, when we look at the effects, I think there's just one of them I've mentioned, but over to you. Let's look at some of the effects of COVID-19.
Thank you.
on the family.
COVID-19, as we all know, has come to destabilize almost everything as far as life is concerned. And individuals are affected, nations of the world, superpowers are affected. So much has happened since COVID-19 got into our country in particular. And like you mentioned, the family being the basic unit of the society, it's the family that suffers at the long run. People have been affected in one way or the other. Jobs have been lost. Other organizations have reduced salaries. Schools are closed. Parents, couples in most cases, from most places, were forced, let me put it that way, to stay together under one roof, etc. So many things happened. And of course, these things also come with their effects. I might call it the socio-economic effects. If jobs are lost, salaries are cut, automatically it will affect the family income. And that will also bring a new cycle of issues all over. So when the family income is reduced, that means that automatically disposable income goes down and various things are affected. So the family, COVID has actually affected the family, and one of the ways has to do with some of these economic factors. This, even staying together has brought about problems in homes, marriages, as you have mentioned. And I want to believe that as we move on, we will have identified more of them. But basically, I want to, as mentioned, national economies, nations' economies have been affected. The same way individual economies have been affected. And family incomes have been affected. That affects the way the family lives in general.
So when we look at your submission now, this is specifically the financial aspect. It's what's affected. That's the jobs.
Yes, well, if jobs are lost, financial aspect. I mentioned the idea of staying home, children are home. They all have effect. When children are at home, you notice that the utility usage goes up.
High.
So they go a long way to affect the consumption. Though the money is not there, but consumption goes higher at the same time. So it's all boils down to that. Economic aspect of it.
Thank you very much. Just, what do you want to add to what Pastor has just mentioned?
All right, thank you so much. I think Pastor has...
You are a mother, as for
yes.
you there.
Oh, so you see the experience, the practical experience is there. And the direct feeling of what this COVID-19 has brought about families is there. We are feeling it. I am feeling it. So what I will say, or the little I will add, is that you see, the mere fact of married couples having to now live with the fact that life is no more normal. Because we were living our lives normally. Somebody like me, I was more than busy. To the point that I was so stressed up, I needed rest. But it was difficult for me because the demand was so much. I was going to hospital in and out, treating myself, carrying medications in my bag. But I had so much to do. I had so many children to take care of. Families are there, extended ones are there. Pressure is on you. You had to keep moving. Then suddenly one day, I remember the very first day the announcement came from the president. I think I was preparing my children. No, I think it came in the evening, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think in the evening, I was preparing for the next day. Then suddenly, I came and turned on the television, and this was it. It was just like a balloon that have just been deflated. I started going down. Then I took a deep breath. I mean, just suddenly, don't go to work again, because some of us are into private school management. So you can see, and that is one of our biggest jobs, including so many families here and there. And so it was a big blow. And we thought when it started, we thought it was just going to be, a day or two, some few weeks. So we had the hope, it shall be well. Within some few weeks or some few days, we are sure we'll bounce back. But before we realize, a week, a month, and then it started moving. It's only God's grace that helps some of us, that we had a little business somewhere that is now supporting the family. And so the mere fact of you just waking up one day to realize, I am no more going to live my life the way I am supposed to again. Suddenly my children were just with me. No more going to school. Everything that they were supposed to do has come to a halt. Fine, the man is going and coming, but you have to just assume certain responsibilities right away. Nobody is going to, align any kind of responsibilities to you. It has come. It's impromptu. So suddenly I had to take over so much work. That wasn't part of my plan. That wasn't part of my line of work. Now I have become a teacher compulsorily at home. And I always applaud teachers. That is how come I don't know why I don't joke with teachers. Their job is tedious. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy handling these children. So this has brought some, much burden on me at home. And that alone, if you are not careful, the man will go and come, and then you exert your frustration on him. Because maybe he also comes immediately, he lands, where is my food? Where is this? I'm looking for this. I cannot find it. And then he also begins to throw you around. Before I realize, can't you see that I have been in the house with all these children, 5 children, I am doing this. I think I even have 1 now, so it's +6. So it's not easy. The too much talking alone, it hasn't been easy. So it has brought about sudden burden. And the burden is, let me say, I don't know if it will be right for me to use this word, is yielding frustration. Almost every day I'm frustrated. There are times I just talk, I get so angry, and I have to get to my bedroom and lock. They will come and knock, I will not open. It is not easy. You have to attend to the children, you have to attend to your husband. And one thing too that I've realized is that if you are not careful, you begin to shun your partner. Because yes, this is the case, yes. He is going out, coming. You don't follow him. You don't know the extent at which he goes to Rome. The amount of people he mingles with. And then immediately he comes, it's your duty. You have been giving him hug. You have been giving him kiss as a welcome all the time. And now here's the case. You are supposed to pause him. Hey, Mr. Man, no more kiss now. No more welcome. Sanitize immediately you come. Yes. Go and wash your hands. Go and bath. In fact, clean your whole body before I'll give you a kiss. I'll give you a welcome. Hey, how many men? My own, he won't take that.
Let's move to Pastor Ziz. Let's hear what you also have to add.
Yes. What I have to add is that taking it from where Pastor Willie left off, which is that COVID has come to test our social systems. It is recalibrating everything. And it is important for us to know that the back end of the effects of COVID-19 is in the home. Because we see businesses are affected, religious activities are affected, so many things are affected. But all these effects is accumulated in the house, or is actually felt at home. Let's say you lost your job. It affects how you take care of your wife and your children. The frustrations of it is felt in the home. We are asked to stay at home. There are challenges that comes along with staying at home. When COVID started and it was locked down, I saw some videos going around, people saying that, my husband has not been staying home. Thank God we are in lockdown. He's at home, we can have time together. And later I started hearing that abuse of spouses has increased. And so that is to say that the effects all comes to the house. Like Sophie mentioned, you have lost your job, food, provision of food at home, and then other things. For me also, I touched the part that children are there. You must take on other responsibilities. Me, for example, I'm a teacher. I was asked to stay home. My wife is a nurse. She has to go home. She has to go to work, and I have to stay I have to stay in the house with our daughter. It hasn't been easy. I am the type who likes quietness, and I like to spend time alone to do other things. But with them, you can't do anything alone with them. And all that. So all these challenges come along. But it's also important for us to know that in this time, just as it has been trumpeted that we are not in normal times, we must also employ extraordinary strategies to keep us together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would come out of COVID-19 separated. Or with very, very damaging problems or irreparable problems in our marriages. And I'm very happy that we are having this discussion now, that people may take clue from this thing and be able to salvage their marriages.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for your submission. So I want to look at, we'll just go straight to the some of the solutions that we can put across. But before the solutions, I want us to look at the spouse. When it comes to the marital relationship and how we should handle that before we come to the general solutions. With the spouse, like you mentioned, when the lockdown came, most husbands or wives, depending on the kind of work you do, somebody specifically said the corporate institution. When you look at the corporate institution, I think the man leaves the house at 6 a.m., comes back 8 p.m. So you realize that virtually he's not able to spend so much time with the family. But when the lockdown came, corporate bodies, they did not just say they should lock down completely, but they were running shifts. So there were times the man was in the house. But some spouses couldn't cope. It was like they felt, even now that the man is in the house, I'm fed up. But even in the midst of this pressure, what do we tell those spouses? Your husband is at home. This is a time for you to bond, to enhance your union and the romantic aspect of your relationship. But this is how he or she is taking it. What do we have to tell those spouses? Or what encouragement or advice do we have for them, even in the midst of the stress the man is giving you? What do you do? The positive aspect. I think I'll move to Pastor Aziz to start with.
Okay, I think with this, what I would say in the first place is that we need to understand that COVID hasn't come to destroy us.
Yeah.
It is to strengthen us.
Yeah.
And so if there are challenges in your marriages or in your marriage, you need to recognize that there is something that you're not doing right.
Yeah.
So you must identify that thing and do it well. Every relationship, the foundation of every relationship is fellowship. If there is no fellowship in the relationship, that relationship will die naturally. And so our ability to enhance our fellowship is very important. There are times we haven't been able to enhance our fellowship. We try to hide behind work. Because even in fellowship, the foundation of fellowship is communication.
Yeah.
Communication, both verbal and non-verbal. And some of us haven't learned to do that. So when it becomes so necessary, now you can no longer run away as a result of work, that you must stay home and communicate. So God, or maybe God is using that to bring you back to learning how to have fellowship. Before I got married, I was listening to a man of God who recommended that in a relationship, spend time at least 6 hours with the person you're going to marry and see what comes up within the 6 hours to see whether you will quarrel or not. So these are things. Some haven't, after their honeymoon, they have not really had time together, extended time together. The other has gone to work, or the other is asleep. And things like that. So this is just to tell us that there are some things we need to learn about ourselves, especially in fellowship. And that this situation is not to separate us or to destroy us. It is to point out some things for us that we need to work at. And I'm sure that when we take steps, some of these things we're going to share, in looking at these things, I'm sure we'll be able to solve these problems and have our marriages together.
Fellowship and communication. That's what I've picked from your submission, which is very important when it comes to marriage. So, Mary.
All right, I'll add a little to where Pastor just paused. You see, if there is any married woman out there that for the sake of this COVID-19, your husband's schedule has been changed. I'm sure maybe he was so busy to the extent that he hardly even had time to spend at home. When he comes flashy, he's in. on and off. And so because of that, your timing, I mean, you decided yourself. You had enough time to yourself to do whatever you wanted. And you know, normally I have come to a realization that most married women see the presence of our husbands as a burden. Oh, Waba. Wabe, we me beda, me beti menda so. Afe me beda, me sorry, I was me sorry 5:30. I have to cook, I have to wash, I have to do it. We see it to be a burden. But when you fell in love with the person, you were rushing to get married. You didn't see the person as a burden as at that time. The Bible says we are helpmates. And so there are so many things that when you come in, you have to. And so if for the sake of this COVID-19, his schedule have been changed. Yes, have been changed, right? And now he's spending more time at home. Don't see him to be a burden. It is rather the COVID-19 that is a burden.
Yeah.
He is not the one that brought about the COVID-19. This is a national issue. It is not somebody that brought about it. It is affecting you. It is affecting he himself. And so if you begin to see it like that, you will make the man to get frustrated more. And if he was the outgoing type, now he's not supposed to be going out. He's afraid. He loves his family. He wants to stay so that he will not go out to get contracted and then come and give you and your children. So he wants to stay. And if you are not careful, you make him feel that, oh, he's overstressing you. He's making you frustrated. He's burdening you so much. He can decide to start going out. And if he goes, you know who he's going to mingle with and what he will be bringing. And so I would tell my fellow women, married women out there, don't see it. Marriage is work. And so if it comes this way, and there's one thing I have come to realize, if you marry and you are not together, you don't spend more time together, you don't learn from your mistakes. How will you see the other's mistakes? So this is the time you even have to thank God, the positive aspect of this COVID-19. You are rather going to see more attitude from your husband, more of his behavior, more of his mistakes. This is the time you are going to get to know him very well. And it will help you to rather understand your husband very well. If you are able to manage it, and then you'll be able to handle him very well. So they should rather see it from the positive aspect. You will get to know him very well. If you marry and you people are apart, look, even if you take 20 years and you come together, you begin from the scratch again. Yes.
Because you've not known anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an issue. It's we have to look at that, the positive aspect. Also, fully.
Being asked to stay home should not be considered a punishment to someone. Like Otto mentioned, we saw some of the videos. I saw people, a woman, for example, a woman jumping that the wife, the husband is home. You hear they say, "Oh, now they will teach them lessons." You know. I told somebody that within the period, Accra, Kumasi, those areas who experienced the lockdown, I mentioned that if your husband was having a side chick, whether he will go back to the side chick after the lockdown or not will depend on what happens during the time he has been forced to remain home. So, and the same thing applies to the other side too. The period of being asked to stay home should be used or should have been used to make us come out better, understand each other better. If it did not happen, I think the opportunity still exists. We need to know each other. In fact, if we had had that communication as mentioned, we knew each other, we related before the compulsory stay home. It would have been a time of another honeymoon. Oh, I'm not going to work, you are not going to work. If you are in the government sector, that means you are being paid. Teachers were asked to stay home because automatically, in fact, teachers were not asked to stay home, schools were closed. So the teacher had nowhere to go. The teacher had nowhere to go. So you see that if you had a teacher as your husband, would he stay home? Would he be comfortable staying home? Or if you had a wife as a husband, as a teacher, would she be comfortable staying home? Or would she be okay that you are together in the house? But that would depend on your relationship. It's very important. Pre-marital counseling and knowing each other. And post-marriage, because after the marriage ceremony, you are together. learning and counseling is very important. Let's learn how to be together. I have colleagues who never stayed home. When schools, they do not stay on campus. They don't, students were not there to be taught, but they will get up and go to school. Schools are close. You get up and go to school.
The house.
So what I got encouraged and asked somebody, well, it's like about on 2 occasions I had something official to do in school. I was sitting down comfortably. Yes. I said, it's like you are not staying home. But it's whether it's two things. Yeah. Whether you the one who is not able to stay home, you are the problem, or there is a certain problem in how you're not able to stay home. But in any case, we need to identify it. We should be happy staying together, being asked to stay home and be paid. You should be excited doing it.
Yes. Exactly. Thank you so much. We want to just go straight to the situation where, I don't know, but it's the problems or the WhatsApps and the messages I'm getting is from the male aspect, the husband aspect, when it comes to the spouses and the challenges at home. The man losing his job and facing some kind of, what's the name? I won't say maltreatment, but some misbehavior towards him from the wife. I want us to look at that. Your husband has lost his job because of the pandemic and he's back home. Must he be mistreated? Must he be disrespected? When he was working and the money was coming, things were working, but now that it's not working, the man feels uncomfortable in his own home because he's jobless. I don't want somebody watching us to think that we are just on the women, but during this period of the pandemic, the complaints mostly are coming from the men. The women are just they are not just trying to understand their situation. It's a temporary situation. What advice we have for the two of them, specifically the wife? The husband is not working, and you are working. She's already fed up using her income to support the man on that aspect. What advice do we have for these women whose husbands have lost their jobs?
Mama will start it.
Mama should start it.
Okay, yes. Since I'm a woman, I know how it feels, so I think I can talk better. Thank you so much. Marriage is for better or for worse. And the worse, sometimes whenever that word comes, we always think about death. Or a very serious situation. No. Sometimes it's these little challenges that we call the worst in marriage. And marriage, it's a sacrificial kind of job. Because nobody gets paid for being married and worshiping the other. Nobody gets paid. You can only be appreciated, if I'm right. A woman, no matter how much you humble yourself to your husband, you worship him, you give him respect, you do everything, he can only appreciate you. He can pay you.
Even though it's your responsibility.
Yes, it's your responsibility, but he can appreciate you. If there's any payment, I think it's only God that can pay us. But of course, we benefit from the marriage. So what kind of payment again do you want? So marriage has to do with sacrifice. So if you are that type that is not ready to sacrifice, then that is where you cannot love to the end. Now this pandemic has come. It didn't announce to anybody. Hey, me bo, munya ready. Just as the Bible says that Jesus will be coming back without any announcement and a specific time. He will come like a thief in the night. When we least expected. I've been telling people, you see, this pandemic is a sign. You see, it took us unaware. We least expected that a time will come. And we are frustrated like that. Now, the little that is in bank, you are afraid to go and take it. If I take and that one finish, what happens? You see? So this is the time you have to show your husband much more love. If this situation has happened, even if at that time he was working and all was well, and he wasn't even that good to you. I am only giving this as a scenario. This is not the time to say, hey, menyano. I am going to show him, I'm going to pay him back. You are wrong, because we are not in normal times. Whatever is happening is not normal. So you can't behave normal. If things were normal and then he has lost his job and you feel that you can do whatever, fine. I'm sure it would have been easy for him to move around, turn around, and make things work. Now these days, at this period, even if you are looking for work, where are you going to get it? Most of the jobs are sleeping. Mine is sleeping right now. So right now, if you bring me an application, it's sleeping. I'll collect and put it down. Your application letter too will be sleeping. So this is the time such a woman, if you find yourself in this situation, you have to show your husband more love, more sacrifice, and then you have to show him respect. The little you have, manage it. He will be observing. He will be seeing the kind of woman that you are. This is the time that he's really going to appreciate you so much. And I believe that by the time God restores him back to his feet, you will see the kind of love that the man will be showing you. I am sure maybe because of one or two, you see, sometimes God allows certain little situations or challenges to come into our marriage to bring out the best in the marriage. So such a woman, the best is yet to come from your husband. It's a test and you need to pass it. Don't blow this chance. You need to sacrifice, because I am sure if it was the man, he would have sacrificed. And I'll hit again. Even if he wasn't so good to you, even if he wasn't spending well the way he was supposed to, I beg you, we are not in normal times. This is not the time. Except you want your husband to die before his time. And you know this pandemic, frustration and stress alone can easily send so many people away, and we'll just target, corona nekuna. But before you realize it is not corona. So please, such a woman, if you want your husband to live longer for you and for your children, sacrifice. Go your way out. The little you have, the little savings you have put somewhere, Koibra, support him. He will be watching. And I'm sure when the time comes and God restores him back, he will appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sure our women are listening and watching. What's up, Willie? Want to add something?
Yes. Job loss during the pandemic, and then the relationship between the wife and the
Husband.
This time, there's bound to be a drastic shift or changes in the normal routine of the family. That includes the financial operation, in the general economic operation in the family. It includes feeding. But I want to look at it from the beginning. Where are we coming from? Before COVID, how did we handle financial issues in the home? Very important. And if we didn't handle it well, and during COVID is bringing confusion, I think we should learn from it. Before COVID, did we know about our individual finances? What is the man making? How is he making it? What is the woman making? How is she making it? What are we spending on? I want to believe that if we had that openness, yes, to a reasonable extent, it's not easy for some people to remove money if they are not used to it. But to a reasonable extent, the woman will know that genuinely you don't have it. Though at that time she knows you have no work. But who knows, she might have been thinking that you would have been saving some money somewhere. And afterwards, you don't want to bring it. But be as it may, we are in the situation. There will be a shift in how spending is done. Yeah, it's true. It's very normal for a man to lose a job. 2-3 months, then the woman will start complaining. And some people will want everybody to know how they are spending in the home. But before then, things were normal. We know. But in the larger extent, there would be understanding. By that time, they would have known how much the man had, how much he has now, or how much he doesn't have. Then they know how much the woman is making, and how they can survive on it. So first of all, that should have been there. Now, if it didn't happen and we are here now, we have to continue to keep body and soul together. So let's come together and see how we can manage what is coming in. And per the information we are having, the message we are having, I want to ask that let's calm down. That's not the time to undermine individual positions. I have had such information on platforms I belong. I have had colleagues who feel that when we talk about finances, women, and money, we are only speaking theoretical because the basic thing about the woman is money. That's what they believe because of what some of them are going through. But the basic thing is that let's call on our wives. That is not the time to say that I am the one removing the money now, so I am now in charge. The position of the man is not dependent on what he provides.
Yes.
So let's take note of that. Then I would also advise that if you have lost your job, this is not a time to try to eat 3 times in the house. As a man, it's true. COVID is here. Probably you have lost your job, but people are still working. As a man, there's always a way of doing some to gather something. Don't get up in the morning and remain in the house because you have lost your job. And if you are home, you don't expect to get breakfast, lunch, and supper. As the head of the house, you should learn how to live a fasting life. To some extent, it is that there's no food. But just get up and decide that probably I'm not taking breakfast. Or you have taken breakfast. You take late breakfast. By 9 a.m., you have taken your breakfast by 9. Then you shift your lunch to, let's say, 3, 4. So once you take it, it takes care of the rest. But if you want to sit down and eat as you were eating, there will be squeeze face. Then, having said that, I want to mention to wives that, look, that is not a time to disrespect, using the words that they have sent us, to disrespect, undermine, and yes, disrespect, undermine, and then take the authority of the man for granted. That's not a time. This is a time for us to, that's what mommy said, we show love. We exhibit it. Say that though you are not bringing it, but we still have some resources we can run on. I know you will bring it. I know it will happen again. When that happens, you are helping the man to be psychologically empowered to go out and get the money. But when you do that, you break him down. Psychologically, he's broken from home before he goes out. Even when he faces a panel for an interview, you would have failed him before he gets there.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. We want to move to the children. We want to say something small about the children, then we'll bring our program to a close. COVID-19, we are at home with the kids. How do we manage them? Pastor Aziz mentioned his wife is not under lockdown. She still goes to work and she's at home with her daughter. We are at home with teenagers, and I don't even know how to put them. Teenagers who wear the same size of brazier with us, some the same underwear and all those things. How do we manage with them? And then smaller ones who, when they are preaching, they won't keep quiet. They will talk. Children of various ages, different ages and all those things, different class. How do we manage them in the aspect of their studies and the upbringing? How do we handle them? We start.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I think this is a very good question. Yes. I am right in the soup. So I know how that fire is burning. It's not easy. But the Bible says, Christ in us the hope of glory. Yes. With God, all things are possible.
His grace is sufficient.
Yes, it's sufficient for us. And so what I have realized is that this is the time we have to draw the children much more closer to us and to God as well. Because as you are teaching them, you are giving them the word of God. You know, this pandemic has made us to go back to certain scriptures in the Old Testament that we used not to pick. But now we are bringing it because it's so similar to what is happening, and it's opening their eyes. They are getting to understand. And we have to really sit them down. We should allow communication to work. we have to explain this pandemic that have come to them, the effects that it has brought on us. Even we, the parents, this is not the time for us to hide it from them. As you said, maybe one partner's job is down, like mine, because I was fully involved in the schooling aspects. And so, as an administrator, your students are not coming, your workers are not. What are you going there to do? What are you going to write? What kind of information are you going to take? So I virtually don't have anything to do now. So I am just in the house 24/7 with them from morning to evening. The other time I was telling somebody, I said, I have become a nanny, I have become a house girl, I have become a housewife. Name all those titles. But I'm not regretting it. No. Because this is the time I am learning so much from them. I am getting to know certain behaviors and aspects of them. I am with them. But of course, they are annoying. That one, dear, let me tell you the truth. It's not easy to handle them. This is the time they are making so much breakages. They are spoiling so many things at home. They want to watch TV from morning to evening.
They want to eat everything.
Oh, for the eating, don't go there. Recently, I asked my children, I said, when you eat, where does the food go? They told me, man, now we don't understand. No. It's like when we eat, we don't even feel that we have eaten. But we only thank God that at least the grace of God is sufficient for us. No matter how hard it is, we are able to still provide for them. It might not be the same as it was. That's why I'm saying communication should work. From the beginning, I started conscientizing them. Because there were so many things that I used to do for them that now is reducing. It's not like the way it was. If you don't talk to them, how do you expect them to understand you? Or now you do it just to pour your frustration on them. If you are not careful at this moment, all you'll be doing is to pouring your frustration, and they will be embittered. They won't understand you. And so communication is good. I conscientized them, I spoke to them, and as things kept on going down, I told them, I said, look, whatever I'm able to get for you, you have to. And actually, that's the training I have brought my children up. From day one, that is the rule. Whatever I cook, you eat. You cannot tell me what you want. I am not saying it's not good, but I don't know why God gave me that knowledge to train them that way. Did I even know that this kind of pandemic was coming? So imagine if I had given them the opportunity to be selective. And for me, I will not eat this. I want this. I want that. Now I would have been suffering it. I would have been suffering. But I communicated to them as things kept on, the challenge kept on increasing. I kept conscientizing them. When I cook, I tell them, I beg you, this is not the time to be pouring food away. If you eat and you are okay, then rest, cover it, put it in fridge. Microwave is there. When you are ready, you microwave it, or will add up, you will eat. Or the next day, you'll be able to. And it's actually helping me. Let me give this funny scenario. I think 2 days ago, in the afternoon, you know, sometimes the kind of food we prepare is so limited. I've prepared all around. I didn't know what else to prepare for them. I was so tired. So I just got up and I did this thing we call gari photo. I did it with some sardine and then some vegetables. I mean, I did that. That thing was fine, beautiful. When I served them, everybody was enjoying. You're a woman. Yes. Madam Fourthborn, the hard one in the house. She did the face some style. I pretended I have not seen it. Then later she brought the plate. As for me, I cannot eat this kind of food. Take it and give me something better to eat. Yes. A girl of 7 years, I think she just hit 7. Or is it she's even yet to hit 7? She was able to bring out this kind of statement. That's for me, I cannot eat this kind of food. Take it and give me something better to eat. If I wasn't patient enough, that day I would have dealt with her. But God gave me patience because I have been seeing so many things. I myself am already frustrated and tired. I don't have to pour it on them. They are innocent. But I conscientized her. I spoke to her. I said, let it be the last time you speak like that. It is not good. I said, look, times are not more normal. So whatever I'm able to give to you. I told her, I said, look, others are not even able to get 1 square meal. So it is God's grace you are getting this. So communication is good. If you don't let them understand, all they will know is that, coronavirus is then we are supposed to cover our nose and sanitize when we are going out. Period. They are done. But whatever you are going through, they don't know. But I made them aware. And sometimes what I do to them is that if I want money to buy something, I send them, go and bring my purse. And they used to realize that always my purses were full of money. Because I have arranged them, all the notes. So any you pick, there was money. So recently, they'll pick something, I say, open. Check, give me 5 cedi or 10 cedi. That, Mama, these days your purse. I say, yes. You see, now I'm not going to work. Now I don't go out and bring money. It's only the little your father is able to bring. So I'm begging you, manage it. And it's really helping me. So I think this is one of the best way we have to go. No matter their age, no matter how little, let's not underestimate them. When we speak to them, they will understand. Yes.
Thank
they
you.
will.
Yes, what I would say is that in this time of COVID-19, those who would survive and thrive are people who would be able to learn and adjust quickly. Others may want to stay and say, well, let's see whether things will change. Things are not going to change that quickly. So we need to learn fast and adjust in our marriages. And now when it comes to handling the children, this is an opportunity given us to teach them and especially train them. And so when I say train, I mean that you do it for them to see, and then you monitor them to do it as you, supervise. So we need to bring that. And of course, Mommy mentioned that aspect. The children will teach us patience. They will teach us, so we must allow ourselves to be taught that patience. But very importantly too, this is the time, like I mentioned the training, this is the time that children will not just do what you ask them to do. They would copy you unconsciously. So this is a time, usually that's always our prayer, myself and my wife, that our weaknesses, things that we do that's not right, our daughter should not copy from us. Like we shouldn't install our weaknesses into her. And so there are some things that we do that the child would copy unknowingly. So we must be careful of how we do things in the house. I mean, those who are living in a place where even romance time, children can easily barge on you and things like that, you must be very careful with all these things. And we must monitor everything they do. Those who have access to phones, please try and see what is happening. What are they doing with their phones? If they go out with friends, when they go out, what do they do? So this is a time to train and teach and also to monitor them. And it's also a time that we must make sure that we don't do things that we don't want them to copy from us.
That's right.
Yes. I think that's the least I want to add.
Monitor them. Monitoring is very important. And unfortunately, this time we don't allow friends to visit them because of COVID-19. It's also a bit helpful.
Yeah, the children, to add to what have been brought out, said, we need to talk to them as we have been told. In talking to them, let's note that the issue of COVID-19, they also have fear in them. The children, though they've heard people talking about it, they've heard education and how to take care of other. But there is also that element of fear. What if I get it? What if my parent gets it? Or if it comes to the house? They might not, some might not express it, some might. Some of them, as we observe in their conversation. So, and to some too who are a little developed, the fear of probably their parents not able to provide. Like those in the private sector, which have been affected. Like we mentioned, the private schools. If your parents was teaching in a private school, the tendency of him or her not getting salary is very high. So those kind of fears are there, uncertainty, contracting it, etc. Some to just being at home alone is an issue to them. When will we go to school, etc. Some of them are about writing their exam. They're preparing to go into their exam from don't go to school again. It puts some psychological issues. So we need to identify this and speak with them. Let's talk them out of their fear. In talking them out of their fear, we'll get the opportunity to explain to them the current financial situation of the home or the economic situation of the home. Then we add the rest. When that happens, we would have result cooperation amongst them, so that the whether motivation and punishing would become minimal. Then we move ahead. So let us speak to them. Let us bring them to speed with what is actually happening in the home. And of course, in venting our frustration, we have to be careful. We don't either vent it on them or make them see what transpired between us and our spouses. But they are home. Some spouses are able to keep their quarrels until the children go to school. Okay, I'll drop the children at school and come back.
This time, no school.
Yes.
Or you say you are getting up in the night to do your talking. You are talking on top of your voice. The children are home, so they will have their nap. In the night, not all of them will sleep deeply.
No.
So you need to be careful. But it's true. The challenge is daunting. But it is not unsurmountable. With patience, like we mentioned, it will teach us how to be patient. It will teach us how to take care of us. We will learn from it. Look, anyone who doesn't learn one thing or the other from this time would have to be re-schooled. Because whether you like it or not, there is going to be a change, a behavioral change, a change in our approach to things, etc. And these children have to be brought up. Some schools are giving extra assignments and parents are asked to pay extra. Some parents are paying, etc. Some are not able to do it. Children are home. In your own small way, engage them. Oh, once in a while, you might not be able to teach them as a teacher will teach them. But they have one notebook or one textbook. Can you bring it? Mathematics, can you solve this one? Normally, it's the woman who do the homework in some home. But when the man is around, the mathematics is easily solved. So can you do this? Even if you cannot mark it, do it. Let's say do it and keep it. If the mathematician of the house comes, you come and look at it. Sometimes there will be banter between you and the children. You can give your answer which is wrong. Depending on your relationship with your children, there could be some laughter in the house. But let it be an opportunity, a way of keeping the home going. So yes, the children play very important role in the home setup at this time. So as we are here, they are home, but we are here. And in addition to that, we have already, Mommy has also our teaching, taking them through Bible, etc. Let them understand and learn, including the kitchen. Let them do what they couldn't do before. Because now you have time for them. There's no exam to write tomorrow. So let them learn all those things. And they'll come back out as better people. Though we are facing the challenge, but let's use the opportunities there to come up.
Thank you so much. Let's use the opportunity to train the children, both in the kitchen, Bible studies, and every aspect that we think would be of benefit to their development. I want us to give our last words before we close. So I'll start with Osofo. Okay. Last words.
Yes. Quickly, what I want to just add is that it is possible to be frustrated. It is possible because we are in a very challenging time. But we also need to learn how to manage our frustration. Our frustration should not be on us, on people, on your spouse or your children. It should be on the situation. And your frustration should move you to devise solutions and strategies and ideas to be able to help yourself in these hard times. And so let's learn to manage our frustration very well.
We should learn to manage our frustrations.
Thank you. Yes, I think I will also encourage our married women out there. This is the time most of our husbands need our support. Things have changed for them. Things have not been the same. This is the time they need our encouragement, they need our love, they need the respect, they need everything so that they will be able to overcome this current situation. And as Osofo rightly put it, let's not, the frustrations will come, but let's not just be pouring it on each other like that, especially the innocent children. They are also frustrated as well. The fact that they don't even have the chance to go out the way they were supposed to. Some are missing church, some are missing school, some are missing outings. And once in a while, they'll come and ask you, so Mama, we are not going to school again. So when are you going to go to school? So we won't go to church. Immediately the president announced this 1 hour church service. My children were excited. Oh, Mama, so we'll go to church Sunday. I said, I beg you. This 1 hour. By the time we drive and go there, time is gone. And so this is the time we need to help ourselves. Certain things that you couldn't do to please your partner, this is the time you have to show it. Most women used to complain, oh, my husband don't have time and all that. Now he's getting the time.
Yeah.
You are running away. You are tired. You wish he would just take his bag and go away. This is not the time. The times are not normal. Do things that will keep them. And I'll add this one thing. There are most women that thought that, oh, as for my husband, he doesn't like sex at all. Oh, boy, it is the time that he wasn't having it. Now he has the time. He wants to give it to you the way you want it. You are running away. What is your problem? You were complaining he was not giving you. Now he has gotten the time. He wants to do his best. And this is the time. He'll go and give it to somebody outside. Oh, some of the men were distributing.
Yeah.
The entire now you thought say he didn't like it. Not distributive be wanting, especially those who cannot discipline themselves very well. Yeah, we pray for them. We side with them. Oh, nyame be boa wo. But not chiche bi wa wanting. Enti na wunim. Say see ane di obekwa kwacha no suro. So obenya yara. Odi ni nyina abrɛ wo. Jiwa de emenia. And also your problem. Let's try our best. I know it's not easy, but with God on our side, we can do it.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, with God on our side, we can do it. Yes. COVID, yes, has come to reorganize, change people's behaviors, etc. But what, as a family, as couples, we can come out of it as better people. All we need to do is to learn how to make sure that we use every challenge as a stepping stone, and we'll come out as better people. Our lives will come out better, our families will come out better, the children will come out better, even in the midst of the challenges. What we are certain is that the Lord God himself will keep and preserve us. He will protect and guide us. He will deliver us from this disease. As individual, as a nation, and even the nations of the world, he will deliver us. But as he keeps us through it, let us learn from every stage. And he will by all means teach us how to put bread on the table. It doesn't matter the difficulty. Let's hold on to him and let's love each other. This too will surely pass. But it should pass with us becoming better than we got into it.
Thank you so much. This too shall pass. All the issues about COVID-19, we should look at the positive aspect of it. Somebody sent a WhatsApp to me and said, the virus, he suspects the virus was created by a woman because the women want the men at home. Yes, if it is indeed true that your husband is at home, make very good use of your husband. Bond together. Let the romance come alive once again and give your kids the important training that will help in their development. This is Beaming Love coming to you live on the studios of VMS GILLBT. I am happy you joined us today, and the same time next week we'll be here again by God's grace to talk again on COVID-19 and the other aspects of it. Thank you so much, and thank you, my panelists, for making time to come. This program I mentioned earlier is brought to you by Kind Courtesy, Beaming Love Ghana, and then VMS GILLBT. You can also sponsor by calling 0244531746. 0244531746. Thank you so much. This too shall pass. That's the motto for COVID-19. Do not frustrate yourself. Do not frustrate your wife. Don't frustrate the kids. They are innocent. Let's fight this together. With God being our strength and our anchor, we shall overcome. Thank you and stay blessed. Stay safe. Wash your hands with soap and the running water. Wear your nose mask when you are going out, and use alcohol-based sanitizer wherever you are.